Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Okay, we have a continuation today in Psalm 106 of what we just read yesterday. Oh, and welcome to Daily Dose Radio. This is your home for artisanal Bible study that's fresh and organic. Today we're looking at 11 through 15. Let's read those. And the water covered their enemies. There was not one of them left. They believed his word. They sang his praise. They soon forgot his works. They waited not for his counsel, but lusted exceedingly in the wilderness and tempted God in the desert. And he gave them their request, but sent leanness into their soul. That's verses 11 through 15. Now notice, as I said, this is a continuation of where we were. He saved them from the hand of him that hated him. Who was that? That was Pharaoh. Redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. That was the Egyptian army. And the waters covered their enemies, and there was not one of them left. Still, we're in Exodus chapter 14 there, remembering the salvation that God wrought, even though the people had provoked him. See, they provoked him. Look up there in verse 7. What did they do? They provoked the Lord, because they said, Moses, you've just brought us out here to die. Weren't there enough graves in Egypt? But no, you have to bring us out here. And they were looking at the Egyptian army storming towards them. The only thing that kept the army at bay was the cloud, the pillar of the cloud that stood between the army and the people. So the Lord opens the sea up. They walk through as on dry ground. And when they get on the other side, here comes the Egyptian army in. All those chariots and all those horses and all those people, and God closes the sea on them. So they covered their enemies. There was not one left. They believed his words. They sang his praise. Exodus chapter 15, we have the song of Moses, and then we have the song of Miriam. So there was a lot of praise and a celebration whenever the Lord delivered the people from the hand of the enemy. They soon forgot his works. They waited not for his counsel. That is really the condition that we face even today. Even when the Lord delivers us quickly and speedily from our enemy and from our sinfulness, because he's delivered them from their sinfulness here, he saved them from the hand of the enemy. But yet, what do? They retrograde. They backslide. They fall away from his words. They believed his words in 12, and then in 13, they soon forgot his works. So there was nothing there to prevent them now from doubting. And they waited not for his counsel, so they lusted. Verse 14. Verse 14 always comes after verse 13. Okay, now you say to me, well, Pastor, that seems obvious. 13, of course, comes before 14, and vice versa. Well, what I'm saying is, forgetting God's work and not waiting on his counsel always leads to lusting. So 14 always comes after 13. Lusting exceedingly in the wilderness, or lusting exceedingly in the city, or lusting exceedingly in the country, or lusting exceedingly wherever you might be, on a mountaintop, in a valley low, on the seashore, or in the midst of the ocean. It doesn't matter where you are. Because if you have forgotten his works and if you've not waited on his counsel, then this is what's going to happen. Lusting exceedingly and tempting God. And that's what they did. They said, you've brought us out here to kill us with hunger now. And if you go to Exodus chapter 16, verses 2 and 3, you'll see that the people lusted exceedingly, and they said, we need bread. Of course, the Lord provides them bread, and he provides them meat. He sends quails into the camp. He gave them their request, but sent leanness into their soul. Why? Because they already had leanness in their soul, but the Lord just magnifies it here. Because they don't trust him. They've forgotten his works and they've not waited on his counsel. Isn't that what they're supposed to do as believers? Isn't that what we're supposed to do as believers? So this is a good, kind of a place to find the prescription for sin. When we forget his works and don't wait on his counsel, lust arrives and temptation of God comes. It's just the natural order of our sin condition. Okay, I hope you'll join me again tomorrow as we look at verses 16 through 20 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.